That's England's first loss to an African opponent ever, and it's their 22nd game against AFCON competition as we take a look at the numbers. Mark Ogden still with us. Mark, you had a keen eye on this one. The result is bad. How bad was the actual performance?
In Munich on Sunday night, the Nations League final, that was a game of amazing quality. Two fantastic teams who are playing like teams and playing like a squad who knew and got on with each other. England, I just think it's so disjointed. And again, we're getting back to the situation where they're probably the most overhyped team in world football. They always overpromise and underdeliver. And I thought today it just lacked any cohesion. Obviously, he made a lot of changes from the weekend. The 1-0 win against Andorra, which has been described as the worst win in England's history because it was so poor. So we're in a situation under Thomas Tuchel where a big name manager comes in, promising to change things to make things more professional, make it slicker, bring that winning mentality. I'm sure you guys have heard this somewhere quite recently yourselves, but it's just not working at the moment. I think there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed. Kyle Walker shouldn't be anywhere near the team. He's not in the Man City team anymore. He went to Milan, to come back. I think Tuchel's got to be ruthless. He has to make some big decisions and drop some big players and start again in the year he's got to turn England around. But you know, it's the same issues we had last year. You know, Harry Kane doesn't really have any competition up front. He scored tonight, but is he the guy that's going to win the World Cup next year? He didn't really perform in Germany. Has he got the pace? Has he got the movement? All these questions that haven't got answers, but Thomas Tuchel has only got basically 12 months to sort it out. But big problems ahead for England that they're not as good as a lot of people think they are.
Based on our conversation in the green room, I can tell you one person who's not betting on Thomas Tuchel. That's you, Don. Why?
I just don't know. I just get a feeling a job that Gareth Southgate done was, uniting the players and make the players feel loved, and he nearly got there. I just think with Thomas Tuchel, and I can't put my finger on it, he just seems a little bit cold. And I'm not judging the England performance on, or anything on Thomas Tuchel on tonight. I just think, I said to Stevie before, I mean, who honestly wants to play a friendly game against Senegal 3 weeks after the Premier League?
So then can we throw this out? Could we tell all the England fans, don't even worry about this 3-1 a year from the World Cup? It's a friendly, it's not the first team.
We've seen it before. We've seen all this before.
Seb, you don't want to play in this game. You've just had a busy season in the Premier League or across Europe, and you've got to play a game 3 or 4 weeks after the season's finished. The adrenaline's not flowing, the juices are not flowing.
Will Tuchel look at it that way? Will he not say, hey, Kyle Walker was bad today, I need to do something about Kyle Walker?
Well, he should know it. Tuchel look bad on Tuchel's record. You know, when he's got a percentage that he hasn't won or won, it'll look bad on his percentage, but that is nowhere near England's starting 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Cherky before. I mean, Ez is the player. City should have been after. I mean, he just looked a cut above in everything that he'd done tonight. He was silky, he was secure, he saw back heels that weren't really on. He's just a kid that's absolutely flying. But that starting 11 there will be nowhere near the 11 that plays in the World Cup.
Don, you live in England, so you know better than us. But looking in from the outside, when was the last time we ever spoke, or anybody ever spoke, about how great England look, how well they're playing, how solid they are, how fluent they are, how brilliant they are? They've got superstars everywhere. It makes no difference.
Well, that was the conversation.
They're going to qualify. They're going to qualify, and then that's when it matters whether they're playing as a team or not.
Well, that was the conversation in the Euros. They stunk their way to a final.
Of course they did.
They were bang average in every single game they played. Until they got to a final.
As I said, when was the last time, whether it's us here or at home in England,
well, Oggie's nailed
they're talking about how brilliant this is going to be and how great they are.
Well, Oggie's nailed it by saying they're overhyped. It's exactly what they are.
But is there a difference, Stevie, between not playing the best football ever and losing 3-1 to Senegal, right? That's...
Well, quite frankly, in the middle of June, who cares? I mean, what do you think the play? I mean, no, it doesn't matter. No. If you're a stats guy, then it's the first time they've lost an African team. Oh no, that's not good. Well, it's the first time ever. No, it doesn't matter a jot. And the Kyle Walker situation, again, all it'll do for Tuchel is right. I don't need him anymore. If he had any doubts, and maybe that's why he's played him. Okay, I'm going to play Kyle just to see where he is, see where his head's at, see what he's like during the week and amongst everybody. And now we've decided that he's done. Score him off, he's not coming, and then you move on. But this whole, they're not playing well and he's going to struggle to find a system, and it matters not a jot. England, as always, don't play great. They qualify with ease, and then it depends when the competition starts how he puts it together. That's all that matters.
And while all these disclaimers, long season, playing a friendly 3 weeks after the season is over. All those things, you guys may have a point. And you know full well what it's like to play at that level in the Premier League and having to play matches afterwards and how the juices are not flowing, to use your expression. But they should be better than what we have seen from England against Andorra. Huh? And they should be better than what we saw today in getting outplayed by Senegal. Now, we showed the 3 goals from Senegal, but there were saves that needed to be made from Dean Henderson early in this match, or at least in the first half. And so you're thinking about, while I don't want the best of England right now, if I were an England fan, I would want that to happen in 2026 in the middle of the World Cup. That's where I want them to be at their best. You at least need to be trending. You need to be sort of generating some momentum. You need to be looking as if there is something positive to take from
If that goal
both
had a
of these
stud though
matches.
from Jude Bellingham, that would have finished 2-2. So it would have been a different story.
No, they scored a third.
The game doesn't work.
They wouldn't have won.
You're going to tell me it doesn't matter, then you're going to tell me, well, if you scored, it would have tied.
I'm echoing what Stevie's saying. That the result doesn't matter a thing when.
But the result is not in a vacuum. It comes off the heels of Andorra. He just called it the worst win in England
But
history.
Harry Kane, when you look at that starter level, will be the only player in that 11 that will start in a World Cup game for England.
Okay, maybe so. But can you agree at least that we need to see something
correct.
slightly better than
Okay,
what we
okay.
have seen over this over his last 2 matches, and that
Well, we'd like to,
and
but
that the
do we
expect-
need to?
Not from a Scottish perspective.
Go on, the Senegalese.
the expectations for England, and I know they're unreal and surreal and unnecessarily so, unrealistic. They always are. I don't want them to be dominating Senegal right now. That means that they're going to be struggling in the World Cup. But it's sort of the starting stages of a new manager with Thomas Tuchel, and you're seeing new players. Let's see something better than what they've done over the last couple of games. That's not too much to ask. That's all I'm saying.
You know who we can always count on for a little sunshine, a little ray of optimism?
Okay.
Augie, last word on this to you on England.
Well, listen, I can't think of the last time England beat a team of any consequence at a major tournament. You know, they lost to Spain last time out. They lost to, they were beaten by Croatia, I think, in the World Cup. When it comes to the big games, France in the 2022 World Cup, when it comes to big nations, England fall apart. They usually beat the mid-ranking nations. But by losing to Senegal and by really struggling against Andorra, maybe they're slipping from that level as well. So that's what Tuchel has to get back. He has to get back that ability to roll over the teams they're expected to beat and then make them able to beat the teams that they haven't beaten in recent years. But you guys, I mean, Stevie said they'll qualify. They probably will qualify, but they've got 2 pretty tricky away games against Serbia and Albania to come. And if this team isn't happy, if it's not cohesive, they could slip up in those games, and that would make it interesting towards the end of the campaign.